For a person who did not know anything about Bitcoin Dada was a very safe space full of very loving ladies who helped me understand the concept better because they took us step by step, and it was so fun. And all the class sessions were always fun and were always engaging. So that was really interesting, and it helped me to be able to understand Bitcoin better. My name is Susan Basemera.
I'm Angela.
My name is Joyce Monchari.
Melvin Kawona.
I'm from Kenya.
I'm from Uganda.
Hi, I'm Samira Kambin. I'm from Kenya and I'm graduating.
Cohort 5 graduates. I just graduated in previous graduation, and I don't know what to say about Bitcoin Dada. Like the first time I emceed, it was early this year, still a Bitcoin event. I was like, I can't do this. One thing about Bitcoin Dada, one thing that will stand out, you'll unleash potential that you don't know you have. I remember that first time, I was very hesitant. I was not confident enough. I didn't believe I would do it. So one thing about Bitcoin Dada, you network and you unleash potential in you that you didn't even know you have. So be expectant, alright?
Select down, pull up, I wanna joy as in Bataka dem kokum. Onyenyo kira kona bom. O tinti myumbi. Ogbongere yo Mario Pandish. Muja Wamenye kolinga talina biyongo. Techonkola mpulira inside. Gambuguma mukwano gambuguma. Ngogunyika mutima ngogunyika.
I'm a millennial, so my knees are not the same. But thank you so much for coming here today for this wonderful event. I mean, it's an auspicious occasion. My babies, I call them my babies. I should be calling them my sisters because, but the way they behave sometimes, they are my babies. But anyway, I'm so excited to have these ladies. They're more from other countries. We just had Nigerian students graduating. We have Tanzania by the way. We also have Malawi. Shout out to Constance, I keep on saying that, from Malawi. We also have Toli from South Africa. And I'm so proud of you guys. It's not easy. Can you imagine? You have to work. Some are mothers, some still work, you know. You have husbands who don't even understand what you're doing. Others are very supportive. Where's Edith? Shout out to you, honey. Actually sponsored 3 ladies. Yeah. So, not all men are trash, by the way. They can be very supportive, right? So, like I said, I'm very proud for you doing the exams and actually being able to get the pass mark. You know there are some who are not here because they didn't get to make the pass mark, right? So, for me to you, I'm so super proud of you. And to my guests, asanteni sana kwa kuja. I hope you guys have fun. Today we are celebrating not just the graduates, but the 2nd year anniversary for Bitcoin Dada. Something that I'm so proud of. We started off as a joke, but it wasn't a joke to me. Because there are times I remember I used to cry about it. I wasn't really sure what I was doing. We started out with, I started out as a, thank you babe. I started out with my friends, Kalosh being one of them. So the first cohort was just composed of of my friends and their friends was about 20, and only 12 managed to graduate. And that's the only cohort I remember that we had. Who comes after millennials? No. Oh, before millennials, sorry. So that's the only cohort I remember that we had, whatever generation that we had. And surprisingly enough, by the way, I would say they did pretty well. They were so committed into learning. They wanted to know more. I'm not sure if they had the money to invest or just the drive and the willingness to understand what Bitcoin is and how it can impact their lives. Either way, I'm happy that we've done 6 cohorts so far. It's been a journey. Like she said, this is a movement. It's no longer like just a class education, it's a movement. I don't speak for every African female out there, but I want to speak to African females. So that's my vision and that's my mission, to be able to speak to more African females, to take charge of their lives. So it's not, and let me just say this, and I always stress this in class, it's not the other gender's fault that we are at this particular position, but it's upon us to stop complaining, to stop whining about this and this is not working, and to join in the revolution. Sindio? When Jodom here is also fighting for our freedom, we should step in and say, okay, so Jodom is doing this, I as a female can also do this.
So myself is not a very good person. So we met someone, she told me, oh, we're having our graduation, I'd like you to be one of our guests. I said, you're invited on your calendar. All I got was a slot, that this is the time you should be here. Nobody told me about old school, so you see how I turned up. And this is not me. So those who know me, I love jeans. So my son has really pushed me out of my comfort zone.
Which is a good thing.
Yes. Yeah. So cohort 6, be excited, because the next one I'll come in jeans. Okay, I'm really excited for you guys going through your learning and not totally ready for graduation. The world out here awaits you, right? The opportunities are a million. Somebody said beyond Gen Z was ancestors, so I'm part of the ancestors. And I don't know how she'll graduate, and I know she'll finish. And the lucky part of what you guys are going through is we did not have this luxury. We did not have people supporting the girl child. It was our mothers who can say, go to school, work hard, make your money. That was the song in our homes every day. So those who are saying that my mother said, oh, go for this thing so you don't get pregnant, or some big boys are bad. Some of us are not even allowed to go for those initiation things, right? So we come from a very different background. But I think the exciting part is over the years, there are women who have come out and stood before us. The women were standing on their shoulders. And so the lucky thing is you have women who you can stand on their shoulders. You have the likes of Marcel, who of course is mentoring and preparing you for the career world. And when it comes to careers, please don't limit your thinking, right? You can do anything. So Bitcoin is just what do you call it? A stepping stone. Bitcoin is not the solution. You come up with a solution. You can be a content creator, you can be an educator, you can come and join me in mining. And even mining, you can be a technical person, so you can be a software developer, and I'm sure Philip can give you some jobs there. Or you can be an operations person like I am. So I do not understand anything they do from the technical side, but sorry to use French, I get shit done. I mean operations. That's all I do. Are the lights on? Are people breathing? Are the daylight site? We have things moving from Kenya to Malawi. And I guess if you follow Greenless, you see me in very remote sites. The reason we do that is because we know we can do the operations in Africa. So as I'm saying, it's boundless. You are the one to decide what is your limit. Yeah? Do not start thinking because there's no education you can't go through it. You can open a kiosk, sell bananas, and trade in Bitcoin. What stops you? Right? And think of Bitcoin as the future, not Bitcoin as at now. So don't try to hold Bitcoin now to make 300 bob to go for Dada. Yeah. And those Ugandans, we know what you guys do in governance. Think of holding Bitcoin now because in years to come, it is something that is worth holding. Thank you.
Continue clapping, don't stop. So, Sharon.
Hi, my name is Sharon Ruruki. Oh God. I am an alumnus of Dada. I was in the Cohort 4. Yay! But apart from that, I work in the Bitcoin space. I am the communications lead for Bitrust Builders. So developers looking to get into Bitcoin development, thank you.
So, and I am Jodom, that name. On the internet, I go by the name OK Jodom. It's just OK before J-O-D-O-M, and you'll find me anywhere on X, I'm not on any other socials. Okay. What I do is I am a software engineer. I have been a protocol engineer in Bitcoin for the last 1.5 years. Specifically, I was working on this protocol for us to hold money together called Fedimit. You probably have come across it, or I hope you do in future. It's a way for communities to hold custody this asset that we all value together. Right now, I am here hoping to get ideas from you, feedback from you on what you need in Bitcoin. I am working on a new project called the Circle. Does that mean anything? And so the idea is figure out how we can run circles that we all know and love in our communities on Bitcoin. And inside that, get experiences like Chamas that I know some of you are part of. So yes, that's what I do now, and I'm really glad to be here today. Yes.
Yeah, I think Jodom was very modest in his introduction, but you know us. So yeah, today we are hosting an ideathon, and I think part of the conversations that we need to have around Bitcoin is building on Bitcoin. There are amazing solutions being built on Bitcoin, so we want Kenyans to be more active in that front. So today we have a brilliant group of people that will be helping the judging of the ideathon as well as mentoring the builders within the space. So it would be nice to get their 2 cents on the same. So I'll first introduce Philip. He can introduce himself.
Hi guys, Philip. One of the guys that's intimidated by Janet on a daily basis. No, but I mean, I really hope you listen to what she said. It's inspiring to work alongside her, and I think I'm excited to see this many women. So what do? I do mining. It's not fancy, it's not sexy, but we keep the network secure. We go to rough places, and we make Bitcoin.
Next up is Hi Eric.
Hi everyone. My name is Eric Michugu, and I'm an OTC trader in this space. But other than that, I run a small community of Bitcoin nomads, or people who love to travel, or people who love to explore. So basically what we do at Bitcoin Nomads is, as we travel, mostly road trips across Africa, we talk to people about Bitcoin, or we educate people about Bitcoin. Thank you so much.
Next up, you will need a really loud round of applause, all the way from Nigeria.
I was trying to blend over there, but they brought me in front. Anyway, hi, my name is Mary Maswin, and I am the Global Marketing Manager at Fedi. And Fedi actually is built on the Pediment protocol that Jodom mentioned earlier. And I'm known to do a lot in this space, so I want everyone to, proceed, so I don't want to go into it, but one interesting thing I also am into is Bitcoin gaming. So yeah, thank you.
Hi. Yeah, let's come.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone, my name is Colin Rukundo. I'm a Bitcoin Lightning developer. Happy to be here. It's nice to see you.
Yes, he's Uganda.
Hi everyone, my name is Simon. So I'm mostly into Bitcoin development and a bit of mining. Currently working on Stratum V2. It's a Bitcoin mining software. So pleasure to see you all. On the side also, me and Jodom, we run something called BitDevs Nairobi. So it's a Bitcoin focused meetup or Socratic meetup. So if you're a developer and you're a Dada, so we can chat after this and we can guide you on how to join our space as well. Thank you.
Listen to what Simon says. When Simon says, come to BitDevs, you'll shout to BitDevs, yeah? Hope to see you there.
Hi everyone. My name is Roslyn Ojiro. I'm an economist by training, Bitcoin educator by journey. Let's say by journey just to encourage the Dadas that it may take you time to find your space, so you're putting in the Bitcoin space, but don't give up. Find your authentic voice and give it 100%. Don't back down, don't compare yourself, we need you.
Yeah, so I think apart from those brilliant individuals, you'll hear more people talking throughout the meetup. Please feel free to go and interact, network. Who knows? That might be your next partner, your next boss.
We are presenting for Group 1. We are doing Bitcoin supply chain management. Supply chain management simply means how goods or services are the activities and processes involved from the production to until they reaches the consumer's part. So we have some problems in supply chain, which are the pending bills when the government take contracts, especially let's say you supply pens to the government and then they don't pay you on time. That is a pending bill. Then we have the timing supply under private and government sector. For this government sector is about the pending bills. For the private sector is when you supply something to the supermarket, they don't pay you on time. Then there is the delayed payment or contract, that's the same thing, sorry. The disagreement between two parties, changing in rates between currencies, cross-border transactions. Then there is a lack of authentic supply of goods and services, counterfeits and volatility. So we are going to solve two problems, the pending bills, or rather the supplying under private and government sector, and the cross-border payments. And about the pending bills, we thought, or rather we came up with the idea that life is moving and then you supply something to the government or to the private sector and they record it in fiat money or in Kenyan shillings. As life moves, there is inflation, there is a lot of things that happens. So we came up with the idea that they can come up with a system where they record your payment, the amount that you're supposed to be paid in Bitcoin, and then they will pay you that that cash in Bitcoin when they finally pay you. The pending bills can take a month, a year or something. So your money won't lose value. Then for the cross-border payment, let's say I want to import something from China, or I want to import something from the US, and I want to pay through a bank. I have to, if I'm transacting through Kenyan shillings or US dollar from my bank, I have to do a lot of paperwork, and that will take time. If I use Bitcoin, it will just be a click. You use the Lightning network and all that, and you just pay instantly without having to go to the bank or a lot of logistics. First of all, later, we are all graduating, we've gone through the Bitcoin education, but the question is, what next? So, assuming, like, let me say I have a project or I have a business that I want to start out, but I don't have enough funds. But here we are. One of the challenges is we came up with lazy fund transfer. We might have some different NGOs who want to maybe to empower those people, or like, let me say any idea, but then because of that lazy transfer, they can't send those funds. And also too many channels like bureaucracy. Oh no, like to send money, let me say from America to here, it has to go through different channels, like so many steps, like to approve those funds, and then identification of the less privileged. Like in different communities, it may be hard to identify these people who need help, and then single entities charged with overall responsibility. Like in a given NGO, it might be only one person who knows the funds we receive, like everything about that NGO. It might be only one person. So we come up with big part to solve those challenges.
So by the use of BitPower, we can actually channel these funds through Bitcoin as opposed to fiat money. So for example, there is an NGO in Europe. They have heard about the floods, or they have heard about needy personnel in the continent, and they want to finance these people. How the transfer of money via fiat currency, it's kinda expensive. So let's say it's transferred from US using USD, then it comes to Kenya, it is then converted to Kenyan shillings. But then if our end user, who is the person in need, if they have BitPower, which uses Bitcoin, they can be able to receive funds directly from the different financiers from abroad. And that cuts the problem of the funds transfer. Being peer-to-peer, funds are channeled directly to the intended recipients. So via BitPower, we have said that the end user has the app. They have the application, so they're able to actually receive without the need for a third party. For example, the government and other third parties who can actually charge extra fees. The third point is local communities can easily identify most affected entities or individuals. We are here today because of Bitcoin Dada. Let's say, for example, in Kenya, I might know a couple of the people around me, or even not the graduates who are currently here. I might know someone at home who has needs, and because I'm in this BitPower community, I can pitch their names to the relevant financiers, and they are able to receive the funds directly. So this promotes lack of discrimination, where you find only the identified, when you're like, the people who have been identified by the big organizations, but the people who have been identified by the smaller groups like Bitcoin Dadas, they can be able to receive the finances. The last point is multi-sigs can be used as a way to share responsibility and control over funds. So it's not only one person who has the credentials on the keys to distribute the funds. It is the people who are in big power that perform these activities. So thank you.
When it comes to visas, traveling to another country is usually so difficult, especially for us in Africa, going to Europe. You need to have a certain credit score, because sometimes they ask for your bank account, statement. They need to see how much money you've had in the bank for the last year, and sometimes that's not possible. But with let me give an example of Felix. He allowed me to use his story. He was denied entry or traveling into Portugal because he did not have the right credit score to fit that country's needs. He has everything else. He has his traveling sorted out, he has his accommodation sorted out, but the fact that he does not have a good enough credit score, or he doesn't have the kind of backing on his own that would be needed for him to travel to that particular country, he was denied entry. So our idea was in reforming the visa industry. When you want to take out a travel insurance, we use BTC. So first of all, BTC is global. How I use it in Kenya is the same way I can use it in Portugal, the same way I can use it in Brazil. So that's one thing they have in common. Form a kind of insurance policy where I put in my BTC as my insurance. The country goes there because you're basically collateralizing yourself. They need to see when you're there, if anything happens, you have enough insurance to go back home. If it's health insurance, if something happens to you, you have the money, to back yourself out of tricky situation. So when you use BTC, it's borderless. So we lock in your BTC as insurance. You travel to the country, you do what you have to do. When you come back, your BTC is unlocked and it's, so that is a kind of solution you come up with using BTC. And in the case of where, let's say you have a sponsor in Portugal, as much as our visas currently, like the travel insurance and all that, depends on your credit score. If you're using BTC, if you have a sponsor in whatever country you're going to, your sponsor can deposit the BTC insurance for you. So at the end of the day, it doesn't depend on, your own capability. Someone else can, because they know you're good for it. If they're going to sponsor you in that country, they also know you're going to go back to your country and they can get back their BTC. So that's basically the point of traveling insurance. Hopefully I've done my group justice. And benefits. It's borderless, it's less paperwork, especially when traveling abroad. There's so much bureaucracy involved. So this basically reduces the amount of work you have to do, the amount of research you have to do. It's transparent in that in the circles, we can see how the money is moving on the blockchain. We can see Stacy was given a loan by Sharon, and Adele on this day, and this is the day this is the day she brought back the money to repay back her loan. It's community-based. Again, in the circles, it's trustless in that I know my people, and my people know me, and they can depend on me in times of need. And also in the insurance, my sponsor can have my back when maybe my finances aren't working right. If they set my insurance in BTC, anybody can pay this insurance for me. Anybody can be my backer. I don't have to depend on my own back, especially in situations where you can't really come through. So yeah, that's it for group 3.
Anyone who knows Gazer Fund? Awesome. So Gazer Fund is a pool where investors pool together money, and if you have a really interesting Bitcoin project, then they provide funding for you as an entrepreneur, individual, or organization, right? So on the environmental side, we can have this pool of funds collected or built by Bitcoiners, where if you have a Bitcoin project that is really good for the environment, then you're given preference for funding. Does that make sense? So that really helps in solving the current environmental problems we have. So that was the next point. Yes, we know in Africa the electricity grid is not very good, and our most initial reaction to lack of electricity, what do we switch to? Generators, right? So we know that generators will burn fuel at a consistent rate until it runs out of fuel, right? But how about consumption? Do we consume that power at a consistent rate? If you're ironing your clothes, you're not ironing for 12, 24 hours and so on, right? So it means that the output from the generators doesn't match your consumption, okay? So if you can use the excess energy to mine Bitcoin, then somehow you would have created value that would in future help you to move into a greener way of producing energy, okay? So you may not have solar or other sources of energy, but if you mine Bitcoin with that excess energy, then you can help transition from burning fuel to maybe harnessing the sun. So the other one was about flood water, okay? So there's a lot of water that is passing, especially from the higher grounds in the country to the lower grounds. Eventually it will end up in the ocean, right? So if you can be able to collect this water, maybe via a reservoir, whether it's a dam that you create, or find a way of harnessing this water, the water at a higher potential can always be used to mine Bitcoin, okay?
If I start talking about how Bitcoin Dada has helped me, we will sleep here. But I'll just give a brief overview. As I mentioned earlier, I was a Cohort 4 alumni. Well, I am a Cohort 4 alumni. I currently work at WeTrust, and honestly, that's because of Bitcoin Dada. So Bitcoin Dada has really exposed me to, different people in the space. Case in point, I mean, I started being on panels even when I was still a student at Bitcoin Dada. So it's really how a mother pushes out to the world. I feel like that's what Bitcoin Dada really did for me. So there were volunteer opportunities, there were anything I could jump on, I jumped on it. And fast forward, I have traveled, I am here. So I think it's safe to say that Bitcoin Dada. Oh, but you know what? Apart from the opportunities, Bitcoin Dada in itself as a community, it has been really one that pushes for growth. I think the Dadas can back me up on that. It's a very supportive community. If I need anything, I know there's someone I can always run to. So
Bitcoin Dada to me has been a mother. No wonder a mother is a founder. It has developed my confidence, restored the kind of woman that I used to be. At some point, like how you enter into adulthood and they don't warn you about so many things, so you bump into this and the other, career-wise. You lose your identity along the way, and then life pushes you left, right, and center. But Bitcoin Dada, for me, the moment I met with Bitcoin Dada, I got refocused, recentered, and I'm really grateful. Currently, I volunteer with Bitcoin Dada in Uganda. I'm excited to grow this community even bigger than this next cohort. We are breeding a full bus here. Amen. I'm not scary, I'm serious. So Bitcoin Dada has been like a mother to me, mentoring me. We have these girl talks. It's a place where you are sure that every morning you find someone to say hello to you. So for those that don't have boyfriends, please join the community. You find someone to give you words of affirmation. If you've never been told that you look nice or you need to improve how you look, go to the BTC Dada community. these girls will push you to excellence. Thank you, Marcella. Thank you, my girls. Love you all.
Hi everyone. Hi. My name is Meve. In the Bitcoin space, I go by Meve for Sats. So I'm a community manager and a digital marketer. Sharon has said that Bitcoin Dada has grown who she is as a person, same as Edith. Personally, I was introduced to Bitcoin Dada by Sharon. This is my girl. Me and her together forever. So I was already in the Web3 space, but then my introduction to Bitcoin was through Sharon. So it was basically more of FOMO. Bitcoiners, if you're on Twitter, Bitcoin Twitter, it seems like a cult. I wanted to join this cult. I wanted to find why Bitcoin for myself. So I joined Bitcoin Dada. As she has said, it's like a mother to her. For me, I found a sisterhood. I am forever grateful to Bitcoin Dada. There are some things that you probably grow up as a woman without, or maybe they're lacking. Probably you have them. Good for you. We don't judge you. But then in Bitcoin Dada, you find a certain type of sisterhood that is actually very hard to find in other places. So if you're not in Bitcoin Dada, please.
So you've been in this space for a while. Could you share a win that you've had that you are very proud of?
Oh wow. I wish I could. So shortly after graduating, I was part of Cohort 5, Bitcoin Dada. So shortly after graduating Bitcoin Dada, I wanted to learn more. It's a beginner course, so I need to go probably intermediate, get more knowledge. So I shortly took an African Bitcoiners that 21-day course. If you're familiar with it, if you're not, please get on it. So I shortly took that African Bitcoiners 21-day course. Then after that, I saw that they had an opening for a graduate training. So I applied for that, took the Bitcoiners test, 1 + 1 = 2. You can fill in after that. So that was like a major win for me. It was not easy. Actually, for you to actually apply for that particular position, you need to get their attention. It's not as simple as there is probably like a link or a form you fill. Then if your qualifications or your experience, once then you get called to it, you need to actually show proof of work. So for the people who are graduating, and you're still looking for opportunities in the Bitcoin space, we are Bitcoiners. Proof of work. We say not pow, pow, pow. It's not pow, pow. Show proof of work. Show what you're doing in the Bitcoin space. So apply yourself. If you're probably like a social media manager, use the skills that you already have for you to actually create a path for yourself in Bitcoin Dada. Don't just wait for people to hand you probably the opportunities. Sometimes they're not there to be handed. So yeah, that was one major win. Also, being a Bitcoin Dada is a major win for me. It's not easy. Going through that whole course from day 1 to the last day graduating, that's also a win. Yeah. So I managed to become a graduate trainee for African Bitcoiners, and I'm also a Bitcoin Dada. Big win. Yeah.
I was in the Web3 space before, we all know that. But now coming into the Bitcoin space, it's like a whole other world. And you sort of feel, I felt like an imposter for such a long time, such that I went back into my shell. And, it took a lot of effort. Marcel was always pushing, anything that can just push. And she's like, you cannot go through my course, it's not represent us. It definitely, I would say that we need to really grow the balls, but apart from that is just have a support system, and I think Bitcoin Dada has shown that. Biggest supporter, by far. But we need to grow balls. And by growing balls, I don't mean you get into your masculine energy, just put yourself out there. It does wonders, by the way. You're volunteering, I don't know, one moment, anything that comes up, even if you're not qualified, you will learn. Literally all the jobs you will get, you will learn on the job. So, yeah.
Skill that people who are interested in a career in Bitcoin, they need. One word, what skills do you need?
Bitcoin Dada trains you to find you in the space. So there are very many opportunities. I love teaching because I believe that the world begins from enlightenment. So learning is the starting point. So we need more teachers in the world. so that if we're like, what do they call them? Like those small boats on the ocean, each one of them pushes waves. So if you're pushing from Kenya, push from Uganda, someone pushes from South Africa, before you know it, it's going to be like a revolution. So learn, teach, empower others. And then, of course, you can also find your passion. There are devs, she's a dev. Okay, she works with devs, but also there are writers, there are business people. You can easily find yourself in the space. So look for your passion, look within, and see what you can do that makes you relevant.
Yourself noticed. You are a woman. In this day and age, it's so easy for that to happen. I am so serious, by the way. I'm not saying you do it in the wrong way, but really, is that a right way? Go to events, network. Like here, we have so many founders. Introduce yourself, eh? Oh, they won't meet you. Just put yourself out there. And it's always one thing I usually tell myself. People's skills go a long way. You can always learn the skills. You can learn how to use Excel sheets. You can learn what, but you need to learn how to relate with people. Yes, Momo, yes. Also, yes. So the personality hires in quote and quote. You need to learn to engage with people. And for the developers who are here, Interest Builders is actually recruiting for the next cohort. It's a paid program. Well, by paid, I mean it's free and you get paid to learn. So if you're interested in Bitcoin and Lightning development, come see me wherever you'll find me.
They're looking at you, you were in cohort 5. They need your advice. What would you advise them?
Apply yourself. By applying yourself, I mean jitume. Sharon preaches volunteer. If you find there is an opening, maybe there is a Bitcoin event or anything related to Bitcoin where they need volunteers, you won't magically, okay, maybe you have the skills to back it, good for you. But then for you to actually get a head start, you won't magically get these opportunities. So if there are opportunities where you can volunteer yourself, do the best according to your ability. Somebody will probably exploit you, maybe you're emceeing here, you don't have a job, you volunteer to MC. Then somebody probably has a Bitcoin setup here and is looking for somebody with whatever skills that you have that you show there. So when they spot you and then they spot what you have to offer, it will be quite easy for you to actually get these other opportunities. Also, it is, I said, learn and also teach. Whatever knowledge that you gain from being a Bitcoin, that's all I can say.
Great.
The two groups stood out with really innovative ideas, really, really creative ideas. And so in runner-up position was group 4. So the idea that really struck me was the Bitcoin mining generator, which I thought was just, obviously I'm biased, but I literally sat there and kicked myself because, as we know, we've been having power struggles in Kenya, and I've been running a generator at my house, and I have a bunch of Bitcoin miners, and I missed that opportunity. So that was a really, really excellent idea, very creative, and I think a really good problem, and I hope somebody does go off and solve that. It's really so the winner is group 3. So I think there are a couple of really good ideas in group 3 that stood out to us, but one in particular was the proof of funds for travel. This is an enormous challenge in Africa, and anybody that has to go to a foreign embassy and sit down and put all your life before them. And then, be able to provide enough evidence that you have the money you need, somebody needs to solve that problem. And I think the creativity of how they did it with Bitcoin was really exceptional. And honestly, I'm just going to go ahead and open the kimono. It was neck and neck between those two. So we really debated a long time. But Who is the young lady that presented for group 3? You won it for your team. That was a very articulate, very clear presentation, and so in the end we had to give a little bit of extra, and she came up by herself. So congratulations.
This is our match. Thank you so much for showing us. For the ladies who actually went to the mining site, Philip is one of the founders of the place. Yeah. So you actually meet with the owners. You see, the Bitcoin Dada gives you connection to great people. Yeah? Which other community do you know that does that? Robert, please give us, honor us by handing over this certificate to Lady Mercy. Robert has been a kaka since cohort 1. Yes. So if you're a Bitcoiner, please, if I call her name, just stand up and come. Mercy Kiambaki. Very active in there. Very please. Another kaka. There's a mentorship program for writers, and Stacy got the attention of one writer in the Bitcoin magazine. Wow! And though he told me this in secrecy, but I'm going to say it because I'm super proud of my mom, So he's flying down to ABC just because of Stacy. I hope you actually get an opportunity in the space. Okay, so. She knows herself. Okay. Mercy Anyango. Okay, congratulations. I feel like
for the dadas in the community, yeah, she got her own keys. She got her own keys. She got her own keys. Yeah, she got her own keys. She got her own keys. She helps her sisters out. Yeah, she got a heart for that. A facilitator, Bitcoin educator. If you know a Bitcoin Dada, now's the time to celebrate her. Yeah, she got her own keys. She got her own keys, man. Where my Bitcoin Dadas at? Where my Bitcoin Dadas at?